So dear children, welcome back to our continuing class of respiratory system, and this completes the topic. Okay. Now here today I want to tell you the meaning of combustion. Combustion means the process of burning something. Okay. See, any substance it combines with oxygen and it gets burnt, releasing energy in the form of heat and also light. Basically that is combustion. Okay. Why am I telling you about combustion in respiratory system? Respiration is already known to us. Means respiration means what? We are using our food, the food we eat and the air we breathe, that is oxygen in case of animals. We are using both the food and oxygen to produce energy, and in this process what are getting released? What are the two things that are getting released along with energy? Carbon dioxide and water, right? I told you energy is used in our day-to-day activities. Carbon dioxide is again left outside into the atmosphere, and water again it is released through sweat or urine or any waste material. So that is respiration. Now respiration is releasing energy, that's okay. Now this combustion, the process called as combustion, is also about release of energy only. Now so can we call both combustion and respiration are same? Can we say that? Wait, before coming to a decision, we will see what these two scientists what they have told. Lavoisier, the scientist's opinion is that through his experiments, he conducted a lot of experiments, and he came to an opinion that respiration is just like combustion. Okay, he compared respiration with combustion. Now what did a scientist called as Robinson said? Robinson passed a statement that respiration is a type of combustion. Means it is not exactly equal to combustion, but it is a type. It is a type of combustion. So now combustion also happens in our body, right? The food is burned to produce energy. So this combustion, the energy, the heat energy released out in the process of combustion is the heat we are having, is the warmth, the warmness, the heat we are having in our body, right? Our body's temperature, what is it? 36, some around 35, 36 to 37 degrees centigrade, right? 37 degrees centigrade is our body temperature. Room temperature 25 degrees centigrade. So compared to room means general surroundings, our body is more has more heat, is a little bit warmer than the outside. So how are we producing that heat? Through a process called as combustion. Okay. Now in the previous class, that is I have talked about cellular respiration. What is cellular respiration? A respiration, the process of respiration happens inside the cell to release energy. Okay. This energy we are using. Now see, in my body cellular respiration is happening and it is giving me energy to take the class, to teach you this, to discuss about this topic. And some of the energy produced in my cells, it is getting stored as ATP. We all know what is ATP from yesterday's class. Okay. So some is being used in the activity, any activity we are doing. Some of the energy is stored as ATP, the energy currency. Why energy currency? If you go to market, if you give currency, means the money, in return you will buy some products, right? In the same way, this is an energy currency. If ATP is there, it is broken down to produce energy. Okay. So ATP is a chemical form in which energy is stored, and some of the energy is released outside as heat. So this heat is contributing to our body temperature. Let it be human beings, animals. Okay. So Now we know about our respiratory system, right? Nose, the pathway, lungs, what happens in the alveoli. So what happens when oxygen enters blood, where is it being carried, finally where is it reaching the cell, and there what is the process happening, what is being released. We all have crossed the discussion of those things. Now let us see in general in different kinds of animals how the respiration happens. See, if you go to primitive organisms, primitive living organisms, that means by this I mean that they evolved first in the process of evolution. We are higher animals, so we evolved later. Okay. So here amoeba is an example. Amoeba. So how does amoeba breathe? Through simple diffusion. What is diffusion? Diffusion is nothing but if we spray a perfume out into the room or onto your dress. So how is that perfume coming out of the bottle and entering the surroundings? Through diffusion. A small pore is there, and if that bottle, if the nozzle of the container is pressed through that small tiny pore, the perfume, the liquid perfume, which even has gas inside that container to create pressure, it just diffuses out, right? From one single pore, from one single opening, it diffuses everywhere, right? Throughout the room we can smell that perfume. So amoebas, the organism's surface, it has tiny pores through which gases are exchanged. So they just diffuse into amoeba's body, and again energy is produced and used by the tiny organism. Again the waste gas is diffused outside. Okay, that is the first primitive method of respiration. Later came many different organs, many different types of respirations, many advanced forms of respiration. Okay. Now we know insects. An important example here is cockroach. So how does a cockroach breathe? Through its trachea. Are we having trachea? Yes, our windpipe is nothing but trachea, but the trachea ends as bronchioles, okay, and alveoli. But in cockroach, the trachea itself is present and it divides into many small branches. Trachea is a tube-like structure, right? So that tube-like structure divides and divides and divides into many tiny tracheoles, which directly are connected to every single cell in the body of cockroach. Okay, means what? From this tube system, this tracheal system, from where and where does it connect? It connects the body surface of the organism, that is cockroach, to every single cell of present in the body of cockroach, right? So directly the oxygen from air passes through the tubes, smaller tubes means tracheoles, and then it is carried directly to each and every cell. Don't you think that is a best form of respiration? Right. Now, so that is about cockroach and certain other insects. Now, so how do organisms living inside water, how do they breathe? What are the organisms that live in water? Many, fish, starfish, many things, right? Jellyfish, all these things, how are they breathing? See, first we will see what about fish only. I have just mentioned many animals living underwater, but here we will take the example of fish, aquatic animals that live underwater, inside water. Okay, they can't live on land, they can only survive when they are present in water. If there is no water, they just die. So how are those breathing? Branchial respiration, BRANCHIAL, branchiae are specialized organs present in aquatic animals. Branchiae means nothing but gills, GILLS. G-I-L-L-S, branchiae or gills, both are same, organs needed to respire. So, that is why it is called as branchial respiration. So, when a fish is moving inside water, underwater, it slightly opens its mouth to take in some water. Okay. So, that water, see, on the body of the fish towards its sides, there are gills present, gills. Okay. That reddish colored structures enclosed in a flap like structure. We can just hold that flap little away from the body of the fish, then we can see red papillae, lamellae like structures, red lamellae like structures. Those are called as gills or branchiae, gills or branchiae, C-H-I-A-E. Okay. Now, the water that is present in the mouth, of the fish slowly is channeled towards the lamellae. Okay. That is gills. Lamellae are the structures present inside the gills. Slowly that water enters gills, there that oxygen, whatever gas that animal is wanting, that is absorbed, and the remaining water and the waste gas, it comes out from the gills to its surroundings, that is to the water that is surrounding the fish. So, that is how branchial respiration happens. Now, there are some organisms that can live underwater as well as on the land, right? Frog, crocodile, okay, and many more. Certain tortoises, they can breathe underwater, they can breathe on the land as well. How are they doing that? Means cutaneous respiration. Meaning of the word cutaneous means skin, the skin. Skin is medically, scientifically called as cutaneous. Okay, cutaneous means skin. So, the skin of these amphibians, so amphibians means they can live on land as well as in water. Amphi means meaning of A-M-P-H-I in amphibians. Amphi means two. So, two means both inland as well as underwater. So, these amphibians, they have a very moist skin. If you take a look at your skin, is it moist? If you just touch it like this, can you feel any moisture? No, it is pleasantly dry. Okay, it is not so moist unless there is a lot of sweat. Okay, but if you touch a frog, if you touch the skin of a frog, it is very moist. Okay, it is like a jelly like kind of a feeling. You can feel it like something which you have touched, which is very moist and slippery, okay. So, why is it so? In such cases only, in such moist skin conditions only, the skin has the ability to breathe. Okay. If the skin is dry, no gaseous exchange takes place. I already told you while talking about alveoli. What did I tell you? Alveoli, the surface is very moist. Moist surface is necessary for gaseous exchange. So, didn't I mention you that point? I did. So, here also moist skin is necessary for gaseous exchange. So, when this frog comes onto the land, it breathes like us only, like how we humans and animals are breathing, in the same way it breathes. But when it jumps into a pond means a small water body, so it uses its skin to breathe. It already has its moist skin, right? So, with the help of its moist skin, it can breathe underwater as well. So, that is about cutaneous respiration. Now, the last one is how we breathe, how are humans and animals on land. See, terrestrials. Terrestrial means land, terres means land, T-E-R-R-E-S-T-R-I-A-L-S. Terrestrials means land animals, amphibians. Amphibians means animals which live on land as well as in water. Now, see, what are the terrestrial animals? What are the terrestrial living organisms? Mammals, birds, reptiles. Mammals means the organisms that have the capacity to give birth to young ones. They are mammals. Birds means the egg laying ones. Reptiles. Reptiles also lay eggs, but the difference is that birds can fly and reptiles don't. So, all these can respire, can breathe through pulmonary respiration, through lungs, okay? That we already know. Now, let us see what happens in plants. Do plants breathe? Yes, they do. See, in plants also the same thing, diffusion. So, diffusion needs small pores, right? Small tiny holes called as pores. So, now plant's leaf, it has pores. They are called as stomata to facilitate gaseous exchange, okay? See, sometimes when you touch the leaves of plant or else the tender stems means green stems, not the big bark, not the trunks, but tender stems, twigs, you can feel some moisture, right? Like how do we feel sweat? So, what is that? It is called transpiration. It is nothing but exchange of gas and water, okay? So, if you see the stems, the green stems, it also has small tiny pores called lenticels. See, stomata, S-T-O-M-A-T-A, only on leaf. So many stomata are present on the leaf. Lenticels, L-E-N-T-I-C-E-L-S, lenticels. When compared to stomata, number of lenticels are lower in number. Stomata are many, they are present all over the leaf, and here and there few lenticels are present on stem. They are also similar to small tiny pores only, Now, on the root, how do diffusion takes place? With the help of root surface, the surface of the root, okay. Now, you can get a doubt that in some areas, in places like marshes means where the land is too wet. If you go to Cherrapunji or some mangroves, Sundarbans forests, mangroves means it rains almost all the time, it rains, like in places like Kerala, okay. So, when the soil is filled with water, can any air go? No. See, in general, now I am on the land, I can easily get some air. When I go inside water, can I easily have air? No, because water blocks air supply, right? So, in those marshes, in those marshy areas, wetlands, how does the root breathe? How can the root breathe? Because the soil is filled with water, air cannot enter easily. So, how can the root breathe? How can its surface breathe? See, in such places, the plants have certain adaptations. The types of the plants, a different type of plants are there. Plants which have breathing roots. Okay, breathing roots means, see here. Now, if this is a mangrove tree, mangrove, M-A-N-G-R-O-V-E, mangrove tree. It is present in wet places, okay, a huge tree. Now, its roots are like this, okay. Now, from here starts the soil, okay. Now, this is the soil. It has roots like this, breathing roots, they can breathe, okay. They are partly exposed to air, okay. Now, so there are such adaptations made by the plant, gifted to the plant by nature to breathe and live even in such conditions, okay. Just like how desert plants have scales, desert plants stems, if you see, they are very bulgy, they can store water. How desert plants are adapting to desert, adapting to live in a climate, in an area like a desert. In the same way, These plants are adapted to live in such wet lands, okay, marshes. Marshes, M-A-R-S-H-E-S, marshes means wetlands, okay. Now, this is how a plant breathes. See, we all know that animals take in oxygen and release out carbon dioxide, okay, but plants take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen, that is known to everyone. But now here there's an important thing to notice, okay. Now we all accept that plants take in carbon dioxide, yes, but not to respire but to prepare food. See, in plant there is a process called as photosynthesis. Photo means light, meaning of photo is light. Synthesis means to produce something. So, using light, something is being produced inside the plant, by the plant. Something is nothing but food, okay, food in its chemical form, okay. So, these are all nothing but different forms of energy, okay. Light is a energy in the form of light, okay. Food is energy in the form of chemical energy, okay, and energy can also be in the form of heat, that is heat energy, okay. These are just nothing but different forms of energy. If energy is stored, ATP, it's a chemical form of energy. If energy is released outside like heat energy. If energy is coming as light rays, that is light energy. So, photosynthesis means light energy is used. So, in which part of a plant photosynthesis happens? Photosynthesis occurs in which part? Chlorophyll, CHLOROPHYLL. Chlorophyll is a green pigment present in each and every plant. So, inside that pigment this process happens. See, when light falls onto the plant, then the plant which absorbs CO2 from the atmosphere, along with that CO2, water, we will water the plants now. If we do not water, even rain water. So, CO2 present in the air plus the water in the presence of light in that green pigment called as chlorophyll, plant can produce food, okay. Food is nothing but sugars, let it be glucose or any other type of sugar. And also in that process, what is being released there? Here oxygen, okay. So, in the process of photosynthesis, something is being built, okay. Being built means anabolic, constructive process. Something is being prepared, okay. Things are not broken down here, but things are being made using simple gas and water and light. What is being produced? Food, okay. Food is being produced. So, that is anabolic, constructive process. Now, is photosynthesis similar to respiration? Do plants only take up photosynthesis? Don't they respire? No, plants also respire. Plants take up photosynthesis, means plants do photosynthesis. They also respire at the same time. So, how do they respire? What do they use? Which gas? CO2 or oxygen? Oxygen only. Oxygen, how much is it present in the atmosphere? I have mentioned in the last class, some 21%. Okay, carbon dioxide 0.04, nitrogen 79. Okay, when we are respiring, I'm sorry, not we. When plants are respiring, when they are breathing, they take in oxygen. Okay, and food also. See, food is there, no? Food material is prepared by the plant only, right? Plants are the primary source, primary food producers. Primary means initial, the first, on the top, okay? From plants only, each organism gets food, okay? If plants don't prepare food, can we have any other food? No, even animal food if we have to have, even if you have to eat chicken or mutton or anything, fish, anything, those hen or these lamb, what are they eating? They are eating plants only, right? So, every organism directly or indirectly depend on plants. We eat plants only. So, that is why plants are primary producers. Now, the food is being produced inside the plant. So, here see plants respiration, I am talking about the respiration that happens in plants by simple diffusion only through these spores. Oxygen enters and there is already food prepared in the plant. Now, just like in our body also we eat food, right? That food enters stomach, gets digested. Now, through the blood supply, vitamins, nutrients, all mineral such nutrients, they enter into our cell. So, in presence of nutrients and in presence of oxygen, there is respiration happening to release energy, carbon dioxide and water, right? Same thing in plants. Food, glucose, C6H12O6 is the chemical form we write related to glucose. Now, food plus oxygen, they combine, releasing energy and also producing CO2 and water, right? That water comes out, transpiration. I have mentioned when you touch the leaves of plants and tender stems, you can notice some tiny dew drops, water drops. That water is being released out like that, okay? And CO2 also. Plants also respire, they take in oxygen and they release some CO2. Of course, that CO2 is also used in the process of photosynthesis, okay? So, this is how, this is in brief about the topic respiratory system. So, we know what happens during exercise, how different animals are breathing, what happens in plants, so everything. So, the ultimate goal of respiration is to produce energy for our activities, right? Now, so next time we will start our class with an entirely different topic. So, thank you children. I hope this class helps you a lot. Okay.